Hello everyone, welcome back to Walk With Me Gaming. Normally today would be a Sock Pop Saturday, but with 8 games in the first bundle and one of them not working on my computer, I decided to try something a little different today. The game in question, by the way, is Morris, a game about an archer defending a swamp, and even though I didn't play it, you should still check it out. I hope you guys like this video essay, as it's the first time I'm actually writing something down and reading it off like this. We'll be back with more games in the next video. Today I want to talk about the walking simulator as a genre of gaming, and why it matters, and whether or not it's considered a real game. Much like music, game genres have been defined by expected styles and concepts, many of which overlap and cross over with each other. In music, you might expect a guitar-driven band to be only found in heavy metal, but you can find skilled guitarists leading bands in all sorts of genres. In the same way, leveling, crafting, puzzles, all these can be found across a wide variety of gaming genres. So where does the walking simulator fit in, and does this matter? Let's dive in a bit. First off, I'm going to be talking about games primarily of the last 10 years or so. We really didn't see the walking simulator as we know today become a thing until the late 2000s, with the popular Half-Life 2 mod Dear Esther being released in 2008, along with Blendo Games' spy adventure Gravity Bone and the Tale of Tales experiment The Graveyard. Dear Esther would later be re-released as a full game in 2012, followed shortly after by other walking simulators like Blendo's 30 Flights of Loving, a heist game with no heists, and Proteus, a procedurally generated island with no goals. All of these showed that first-person games did not have to be limited to shooters, but could also be a new form of storytelling. Over the course of the next few years, games like the Stanley Parable and Jazzpunk went on to use comedy as their driving force. Others like The Park and Layers of Fear began using horror, a difficult task when the player knows they cannot die. Still more simply wanted to tell stories that wouldn't work in traditional games, such as the acclaimed That Dragon Cancer and Gone Home. Along with these, many games began to create more elaborate worlds to explore, and began adding other game elements that brought into question the concept of what makes a walking simulator. Games like Mine, Path to Talamus, and The Witness featured beautiful worlds to explore, but also required puzzle-solving skills that were potentially detrimental to telling the story. Others like Shelter and Eidolon were really just open-world survival games that just happened to feature lots of exploration and a usually beautiful scenery as well. Some review sites began referring to games outside the genre as walking simulators purely for their deep stories and lack of usual gameplay. Games like To the Moon, Beyond Eyes, Oxenfree, and Kentucky Route Zero were lumped into the walking simulator category due to their lack of combat and rich narratives. Like in music, the walking simulator split away from the foundations of adventure games and first-person shooters and now come back full circle with many of their games featuring traditional gameplay elements along with their deeper stories. But do these games with puzzles and combat count for more than the games that simply lead you from point A to point B? To me, the answer is no. The first reason behind this is personal. I like these games, and I call them games because I play them the same way I would play any other. These are very experimental, and not everyone wants to play a game like this, but disliking the game does not take away from what it is. Many may hear noise rock or drone music and say that's not really music, it's just people making sounds. But to those people making the sounds, they have a purpose and a goal and a sound they are striving for. Just because we can't comprehend what they're trying to do doesn't take away the fact that they're making music. In the same way, games don't have to be fully understood to exist. Secondly, more variety in games is what makes new styles, settings, characters, and even genres. A few years ago, everyone thought we had discovered every game type in online shooters, from Capture the Flag in Team Fortress 2, Team Slayer matches in Halo. But then PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Fortnite arrived on the scene and dominated the gaming world, changing the shooter game as we know it. Many games now have begun including this style of fighting as a feature. What I'm trying to say is that we never know what is going to be the next big hit that changes the face of gaming, for better or worse. I have a feeling that game developers who grew up on Minecraft and Fortnite will make drastically different games from those who grew up on Doom and Super Mario World. Third, games are art. Simple as that. Many gamers want games to be taken seriously as the medium continues to expand and change. All other forms of creative expression have their outliers that push the boundaries of their mediums. Film has art house, focusing more on camera techniques and sets than stories. Music has avant-garde with sounds ranging from clusters of instruments, both real and electronic, to sound effects and recordings of nature spliced together with wild varieties of the human voice. Even classical art styles like painting and sculpture have their oddballs. Not every statue or canvas has to convey a realistic person or animal or place. Sometimes they can just be splashes of paint, or piles of objects, or just collections of cubes. Art is meant to push boundaries even within itself, and these games are doing that for the gaming medium. These games may never become popular like platformers in the 90s or shooters in the 2000s, but they will have their place in gaming history as boundary-breaking experiments, aiming to push the idea of what can be accomplished with a game, what stories can and should be told, and why challenge doesn't always make for a better game. I love these walking simulators, and I hope you all have enjoyed the ones that I've already played on my channel. The genre has continued to grow, and there are still so many more I have to experience. I hope you'll join me for more adventures soon. Thank you all for watching. This is the place where most channels would advertise their Patreons or upcoming streams, but I don't have any of those. So please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook or Twitter for more updates. If you like this style of video, leave a comment, tell me what you thought of it. I'd love to make more. The world of game analysis video essays is a vast one on YouTube, but I always feel there's something new worth talking about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.